Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of D. Scruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR, coming at you with another loaded VR news, and I mean it this time. When I sent you the news run a show last night, I even put a note in there. I was like, is this the most stacked news episode yet?
Ever.
I don't want to go on record and say it is, but there was a lot of things to cover.
I'd rather have the news loaded instead of the host, so I think it works out well for both of us.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I do have to start the show by plugging, as always. On April 4th, 2025, we have our second annual Ruff Talk VR Gaming Showcase, and applications are open now for developers and studios to apply to participate. Free to participate as well, too. That's an important thing to know, especially...
Free is a really good price.
We do have sponsorships slots if you want to be so kind, but, you know, this showcase is really just about showing off the latest and greatest and upcoming in the world of VR. So
see what you got.
If you're a developer studio, you're still looking to apply, you know, visit the link in our show notes, check that out. Applications are coming in fast. It's pretty cool to every day see that number go up a little bit.
I don't want to jinx nothing. So
Nope, but I'm happy with things. So,
so far so good.
If you're a developer studio, we still have space. Visit the link in our show notes. Go apply there. And for the listeners, the fans of VR, stay tuned for April 4th.
We still have some sponsorship slots open.
Absolutely.
Well,
so if you're looking to sponsor, that's still available too. And last week, too, the VR Games Showcase held by Jamie and Zena, who we got to meet over.
Wicked good people.
Great people. Awesome people. They were teasing that
Thank you, Jamie, for the birthday hookup in Germany. That was all because of him.
On the Home of XR booth one of the days, I think it might have even been the last day, it was your birthday.
Yeah.
And he...
I just didn't tell nobody.
He got wind of it, though, and he got everyone, when you stepped out, then you came back in, and everyone sang you a little happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that was so embarrassing.
well, you know what? That just speaks to him being a good guy.
I did say that if it fell on the same dates and we ended up back there and all the stars were aligned and Jamie was there, I would let him know like earlier because he was actually like,
why didn't you say anything?
Why didn't you say anything? We could have gotten a cake, you know, like because I didn't want to make I'm here for the VR.
So great people. They were teasing last week on social media that their showcase is going to be in March.
Yep.
So
which we knew.
That's kind of why we moved ours as well, too. We kind of got wind.
In case anybody really wants to know why the dates moved, that's exactly why.
We caught wind that ours were going to be a little too close. And look, they have a lot of pull. They have a good reputation. Realistically, if we kept ours in like the same week or two, we would just be hurting each other. Like there would be some developers that maybe wanted to go with us, but go with them because they're a big showcase.
Either way, it would have been a jerk move.
Yeah, 100%.
100% on us. So
we're like, nope.
I'm happy with the date change, and I'm happy with them having theirs in March.
Yeah, and I mean, a month that's a lifetime in the VR industry. So with theirs in March, ours in April, that's still plenty of time for a little cool down phase. So, you know, for you Showcase fans, you have 2 months in a row of them. You have the VR Game Showcase in March, then you have the Ruff Talk VR Gaming Showcase in April. So spring is already looking like, I mean, geez, if I see the amount of applications on ours, I know that they have a lot of pull. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes in the VR industry for like upcoming games and stuff.
Absolutely.
So 2025, I know
I'm excited for all of it. It's going to be a stacked year. There's no doubt. And I know there's some doom and gloom in the air and such.
Some that we'll talk about a little bit later on the episode.
But such is the flow of the tech industry, which seems it's like, dude, the way it kind of always goes. But from what I'm seeing, both in announced and unannounced and updates, it's like it's going to be a really stacked year.
The video game industry had crashes in the 80s. There's been a couple crashes in the video game industry through its decades. You know, it's the video game industry.
Apple almost went out of business in my lifetime. If it wasn't for Microsoft, if I remember correctly.
If you type in video game market crashes, there's several different Wikipedia pages of different years of it occurring, you know?
The flow of...
the ebb and flow. But I think all said and done, despite those little setbacks, VR's trajectory is still an upwards trajectory.
The sales for headsets and gameplay and... it seems to all point in that direction.
I think what we're seeing with the ecosystem currently is that me and you, unfortunately, were 100% right in our discussions about the removal of App Lab before it happened. Our predictions of what happened.
But dude, I mean, not for nothing. I mean, I'll scream from the tallest mountain, you know, and it's been over a year of like, you need to get serious with your marketing.
It's more serious than ever now.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, I'll say it every week. Like, you need to market, and you need to be on all the socials, and you need to put the game in the hands of people that are going to play it and talk about it. It's like, there's a process. And if you avoid it, I mean, yes, you can get lucky, right? There is that offshoot of, there's some great games that are.
But even the best games at this point all do great on there.
Crowbar Climber is a great example.
Where it just kind of organically took off.
Oh, fucking thing is great. And it was like, to me, no real marketing. All that marketing came like guerrilla
afterwards.
Style. Yeah.
You know, I agree.
I recommend that game.
There's always going to be the lucky, like the needle in the haystack.
There's always a 1%, right?
But the reality was, before the removal of App Lab, there were some games that could kind of chill. Yeah. And like, if you were on the official store, you got that organic traction.
But the development argument then, and my same answer held true when it was App Lab, was my exposure. People can't find us easy.
But now nobody can find anyone.
Correct.
Now it's just bad for everyone.
Now it got a worse situation, got worse.
Yeah, so I'm just basically, the state of the store is our prediction was correct, but I think the VR ecosystem is still moving up, but hopefully.
But you can do it. You can release a game, and you can be successful and have a good story at the end of the day, but you got to roll heavy.
Yeah.
Start early too. Like, you know who did a great job? Maestro. How freaking good did they do?
They're dropping the demo. Do you think that would work in 2025's? Like,
I'd prefer if people didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know if that. I feel like that they did that topically, like at the perfect time of the industry as well too.
It freaking worked great, but it had you just waiting and hoping,
hungry,
and praying. And then other games that Survivor Man, they had people on their socials from like
when we started the podcast.
Yeah, it was like, holy shit, we're gonna make and then you get to see the whole. That's a great way to do it, because it's not slowing down your development. You're just letting people in. Like, this is where we're at today.
Yeah, that start marketing your game 1 month before it ever comes out. Stuff doesn't. You gotta be on there early.
You can't. You gotta. You know.
Well, and we know the way the development cycle of games go. Typically, it's a couple years. So you've known the game's coming for a couple of years. You know, it's like, don't wait till the last month to start.
And then
pumping
lay
up.
Heavy on. I mean, for real, like, go into the other Discords that are doing it really well, like Walkabout. They've got challenges every single day, 7 days a week. Boom, there's a challenge to do, community challenge. Always engaging. I don't want to say like Ghost at Tabor, because that's more of its own. That's its own.
Yes, if you chase trying to be Ghost of Tabor, you're never going to be there. Because Ghost, but I get 100% what you're saying on that. The importance of marketing is 10 times as important as it was uncurated store.
You know, you can still beat a 1%.
Well, it's crazy. You'll see games come out after 2 weeks if they don't do any push. I've seen games with 2 reviews that have been out for several weeks, and they're not bad games.
No, dude,
it's like
no, not at all.
You will get buried by Gorilla Tag clones these days.
I get it.
So onto the loaded news episode. So we'll try to whiz through these, but you know us as well.
Man.
In the never-ending ping pong of Quest Pro successor rumors, the current word on the street now is that Meta is indeed working on a Quest Pro successor, a Quest Pro 2. And the reason that this is a little, I joke, ping-pongy is late last year.
Because we're not working on it.
Late last year, the information came out and said that Meta was working on a Quest 4 with 2 different models, a lower end budget model and a premium model, codenamed Pismo Low and Pismo High. I apologize for any pronunciation errors there. But then they also came out and said that they canceled La Jolla, which was their internal Quest Pro 2 project. And now, 2 months later, Mark Gurman comes out and says, yes, they are working on a Quest 4. So that part's, matches up with the information's report. But now, Mark Gurman saying that they are indeed working on a Quest Pro 2. So
don't Google this.
This is ping-ponging. You know, at this point, I think the Quest Pro rumors are in the same state that the Apple Vision Pro was on the lead up. That like anything you hear, you're going to hear the opposite next week. And we just got to wait for it to come out at this point. There was even a codenamed Puffin headset that was in the works that's reportedly been canceled as well, too. So it's like there's so many different prototypes going around. And Meta's open about that like for every headset they put out, they'll kill 5 internally.
Well, we also know that they'll have a headset that does one specific thing only. Mm-hmm. So obviously they can't release that. So if you get 7 of those, that's 7 project names that are killed. But at the end, you'll get
each one pushing that specific tech to the highest limit that they can, whether that's field of view or pass through or lens quality, resolution, whatever. So I kind of lean that like we will see a Quest Pro 2. I think that that's like the most realistic ending of these ping pong of rumors.
I don't know why.
I like it.
I don't know why we would.
Well, it got us color pass through on the Quest 3, and it got us pancake lenses. They
have color pass through, and we have pancake lenses
now because of Quest Pro walked so the Quest 3 could run. I think the Quest Pro really was the proving grounds that there is a market for mixed reality experiences, and they bought a whole.
Well, we know they're laying heavy in mixed reality and AR, and I mean, come on.
So my point would be, if they did a Quest Pro 2, there's probably going to be some crazy like next gen feature in there that they bought a whole supply line for pancake lenses. And possible if they didn't do that for the Quest Pro, we wouldn't have pancake lenses on the Quest 3. Maybe they would do some crazy shit for a Pro 2 that would like involve buying some sort of distribution line, and then we would get some cool feature added to the Quest 4. That's why
I'm just trying to think of features that could be added that would make it worth it for what's going to be the cost of.
I mean, at this point,
Quest 2 Pro or whatever you're going to call it.
What is the
Q2P?
Quest line missing at this point? A wider field of view, maybe? And obviously more strength.
I mean, you could. The pass-through is great. But
the pass-through is great.
You can always make pass-through better, right?
I mean, the pass-through has improved a lot on the Quest 3 through software updates even.
A couple of internal fans for like lens blowing at will, like double tap.
Do you remember when your headset was freaking out in the hotel and the fans turned...
In Florida?
It turned 200% on?
I've never even seen a computer fan blow like that, dude. Air was pushing out.
I remember being like, why can't we force do that, though, for when there's a fitness game?
I was scared, dude, because it wasn't shutting off. I couldn't shut it off, and the fans just... I'm like, this thing...
We're going to got a bomb in my hand right now.
I was on, like, the fucking third floor. We were going to have to go down to the lobby and, like, throw it outside.
Stomp on it.
Yeah, dude. I was genuinely concerned, because I'm like, this thing should not be doing that.
But it's cool to know the fans can go to that level.
Put it in the trash can.
Throw it in the toilet.
Yeah, dude, that was concerning. But what's crazy is I know those fans can really run.
Now we do, yeah. I mean, I don't know why you
Have you ever heard a fan on a Quest headset from like 20 feet away?
I don't know why you can't manually do that, like if your headsets get hot or something.
Yeah, right. Like, why can't you boost the...
It clearly has the ability. I witnessed it. The fans on the Quest can
I'm glad you were there, because I don't know if anyone would have believed it. Mm-hmm. Like, just to really know the totality of what was going on.
And I did reference the Puffin headset as well, too. There were so many different headsets. Referenced La Jolla, Pisma Low, Pisma High. And then the Puffin one, that was supposed to be their ultra light one that had a computer puck.
Yeah.
And then the next month after that report came out that they were working on that, Andrew Bosworth came out and was like, we're not doing that. So it's like, this is everywhere, but I do think that we will see a Quest Pro 2.
I don't want a puck.
No, me neither.
Puck you.
Me neither. So that was kind of Bosworth's reaction to it. Was like, we're not doing it. It's just that they work on this internal stuff. People catch wind of it and they leak it, but they don't have the full context of like what's going on in that research and development cycle. But interesting stuff. Quest Pro 2 is officially, to me, in the stage that Apple Vision Pro was in the development, which is anything we hear, we're going to hear the opposite after, and I'm not believing anything till I see it on the market.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, so I took some funny ones this week.
Mm-hmm.
This one's kind of weird because it made news, but yet nobody knows why. So Zuckerberg's saying he's going to make long-term investments into freaking Horizon to make it more visually
Horizon
stunning.
Worlds?
Horizon Worlds. But nobody really knows what he means.
Yeah, does that mean graphics?
Yeah,
does that mean creator tools?
Development tools.
He said to make it more
rendering.
He said to make it more visually stunning and inspiring, but yeah, what does that mean?
But it was just weird because usually there's a pretty good
like a screenshot,
an explanation, more than just. So, but I mean, this is why I say it's shocking it made news, because it's like to tag anything with like Zuckerberg said he's going to put $11 billion into MRAR. Mm-hmm. It's like, does this even shock you?
Well, they are putting those numbers into it. So it's like when they say that there's going to be a long-term investment, like obviously, is that the whole point of Horizon Worlds?
I thought with the push on Horizon Worlds.
On the Meta app that they were already doing
They were already doing this.
Yeah. So,
but anyways, I for whatever it means, and I'm actually, all jokes aside, I personally interpret it as it's going to involve a lot of visual quality upgrades that is going to make the worlds more appealing. Because
we did see the avatars get an upgrade this last year too.
And the reality is you're up against some really good PC VR worlds that are, what the hell? I mean, dude, look at Resonate. And Resonate's pretty friggin' amazing.
I love the speculation in the Upload VR article, which I don't mean that negatively. Upload VR is definitely my go-to.
We're all allowed to speculate.
But it's funny when they say the quote that Zuckerberg said that, this came from, and then they go right underneath. It's entirely unclear what exactly Zuckerberg means by
100%. Yep.
And there's even some speculation underneath, even going as far as like maybe it's referencing their long rumored Project Avalanche, which is the cloud streaming system. But I don't get that out of this.
That doesn't tie into visually.
No. It would if you're playing PC VR experiences, but that doesn't tie into Horizon Worlds.
Visually stunning.
Yeah.
Cloud doesn't.
I take that as graphics. I take that as graphics enhancements on assets and stuff like that. Like the graphics are probably going to improve a lot this year. But maybe we'll see more information about that soon. That was a funny one.
I hope so.
You grabbed a couple of those this year. There's an Apple one later that you were all over. So this next one's a cool one. I love VR fitness. Fitness Fables from developers Immersion Games, who is also the developer of Divine Duel, a VR card game that we always came so close to playing, especially when we were heavy into cards and tankards. We just never pulled the trigger and actually played it. And I regret it because I actually have a soft spot for VR card games. But they went a totally different route than virtual cards, and they came out with Fitness Fables this last week. It's a VR fitness game that doesn't just do the standard, like put a coach in front of you, which I like too, with like Les Mills and stuff.
Yeah, like be careful, you're treading on some water here.
I like that stuff. There's nothing wrong with it, but they tried to do more of the gamified exercise route where like you have a level you have to progress through. There's boss battles. There's a full campaign, a whole bunch of different workouts. So they kind of there's a progression system. So they kind of try to trick you more into working out by making a fun video game versus like a more in-your-face fitness experience. So it's cool. I played it. And I'm not the most out of shape person. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu almost every day. I'd actually say I'm pretty in shape. So like I always feel like I'm a good marker for like how much it is. And I was feeling it by the end of the level. I was like, okay, that's good. There was a good variety of workouts. There was some boxing, some rowing, a whole bunch of them. So if you're looking, especially with the new year, for a new fitness game, Fitness Fables is a nice mix-up on the VR fitness style.
You know who I actually give credit for gamifying exercise to before anyone?
Who's that?
And I'm not talking like Beat Saber and all that, like actual, like purposeful Arcaxer.
Yes, 100%.
Right?
Remember with the treadmill?
Right. Dude, how much I spend so much time on that treadmill doing the motions to get the additional health or the reward, that when we went through the dungeon from like start to finish, it didn't matter. I could stand in front of anything and just take a bit. You're never going to kill me, dude. It's like I have so much.
Arcaxer 2 is in the works too, so hopefully they've talked a little bit about leaning into that stuff more. But Fitness Fables is $19.99 on the MetaQuest store. Currently got a 4.7 and 57 total rating, so that's not bad. I've seen people compare it to Ring Fit on the Nintendo Switch. I never had a Switch. I never played Ring Fit. So if you were a Ring Fit fan, I've seen that.
Enthusiast.
I've seen that comparison used quite a bit, but looking for your
Yeah, man.
Your
readers, your glasses, blended in. I'm like, oh my God, like camouflage.
Came out at a perfect time, I guess, with New Year's.
Readers.
Dude, I wear glasses 24/7.
Yeah, but no, dude, I never needed glasses in my life for nothing.
But hey,
bullshit.
This dropped last week, kind of like perfect timing with the holiday as well, too. If you're looking to get, New Year's resolution in shape, Fitness Fables is a fun one.
Yeah, dude, I'm not going to argue with that. I'm all for anything that, and we've talked, for years, like real early on, we talked about the benefits of gamifying exercise and gamifying education.
Mm-hmm.
It's like once you gamify something, it's good. People want to do it.
And I think that there's a market for both styles where it's like the coach in front of you, where it's an obvious gym atmosphere.
Depends on what's going to motivate you.
Correct. Sometimes you let me trick my brain a little bit.
And I'll promise you right now, you do 2 hours of Beat Saber every day, you're going to be pretty damn toned.
Mm-hmm.
It's not saying do that and go eat fried food.
Mm-hmm.
Wash it down with a fat sundae, but
diet always plays equally, if not more, of a factor in your results than the fitness. So yes, don't go KFCing it as a celebration, but nonetheless.
All right, so let me get some doom and gloom out of the way, which already is hit. Everyone heard about this last week. It sucks. We actually know people
affected by it
that we met personally. We've spoken to numerous times, and it always sucks, but it stings a little worse when you actually have a connection to the people.
We visited their studio.
We were at their studio. Dude.
We had fika with them.
Yeah. But anyways, Fast Travel's laying off a chunk.
60%.
Yep. A chunk of their staff. A lot of pretty much all their whole marketing team, community management, I think.
Yep.
All gone.
A couple whole departments got affected. 30 employees.
They missed their what they thought was going to happen based on the amount of games that they released last year, and they came up flat. It didn't work. And in order to be sustainable and continue to have a freaking Fast Travel, this is what has to happen. And it sucks again, because we're more than just knowing like, the layoff, which is usually how it goes. But we did also go through this with Tom.
Yeah.
With Micro Machines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When that all fell apart.
Developer of Battle Bows as well.
It hurt to watch go down.
Mm-hmm.
This one sucks. Always does. But I actually believe in my heart of hearts, I've been thinking about this all week. I have 100% confidence that Fast Travel will
bounce back,
refocus, and bounce back. I'm not going to say like bigger and stronger. I just think they're going to be much better at how they handle. Dude,
they touched the hot stove. They learn.
They released. All right, so they released 6 games last year,
as between both publishing and developing. Total
either
6.
way,
Yeah,
their name is on 6. 2 of those are really freaking good games, right? Mannequin is freaking how many? You want to read them off?
Oh, okay, yeah. We have Mannequin, Action Hero, Black Forge, Project Demigod, and then their port of publishing Into the Radius on PSVR 2.
Okay.
Which they even said though when it came out, like Into the Radius 2 on PlayStation VR 2, they had said surpassed sales.
Band Space, dude. That's sad.
Yeah, Band Space. Here's the thing:
so Band Space, Action Hero, and Mannequin, right? Are those not 3?
Project Demigod was good. So was Black Forge. Black Forge got buried.
I'd put Action Hero above all of them.
Oh, I agree. Well, it's funny. 2 of those 3 that you referenced were their internal development ones.
Right? And they happen to be the 3 stacked ones. So,
Band Space was their publishing one.
One could argue two. I just don't. I'm not privy to a lot of internal
you think
shit,
maybe
obviously, but
too
I
much
just
published too thin?
Oh, I know they marketed Mannequin really well, right? I know they did, but I felt like it was not doing as well as it should
for how good of a game it is.
Correct. But again, I'm not part of their marketing internal discussions on how to really keep it going, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Action Hero.
Action Hero is one of the best games of the year.
Dude. There's no freaking reason why that game shouldn't be just pumping out. And they've made some decent, changes already to it to even make it more fun.
The crotch shots and stuff like that.
But I it sucks. I believe they'll recover. I'm hoping some of the key folks, will be able to return to that if that's how the stars align. And
they were one of the biggest studios when we ever first started the podcast.
There's some dude.
They were big back then.
If you want to get it there fast, go to Fast Track. That's my internal shtick for.
They all hurt.
I would still recommend if you have opportunity to get them to publish your game, it's like do it. But hey, they're going to recover. We know some of the other peeps there too who are remaining, and they're good people. So
I feel bad obviously for all those affected. Like Jesper was in our Discord. He did awesome as the community manager of Mannequin. He crushed it.
Yeah.
He was in our Discord. He was always active in there. In their Discord as well.
I would think
he crushed it.
I wouldn't be shocked if we see a post from him, because this is Monday. If we see a post by Wednesday that he's already been,
he was.
He's good. He's got a great reputation, and anybody put him in any Discord. Anybody's,
good energy, good vibes. So I felt, and then Sawil, we knew Sawil from back in the Resolution Games days as well.
Over 3 years ago.
Sad to see all those affected for sure. On the positive side, to stay optimistic, I agree with you. I do think this time next year, we're going to be talking about fast travel games in a much healthier situation.
They'll be stronger than ever for sure. I won't say bigger than ever because, and they said
stronger
for sure.
They said it was citing lower sales than expected across 2024.
I don't blame the year.
And the reality is, though, back at Connect, a lot of the developers were signaling the red siren that sales were dropping significantly. And that was in August, September. So you lose a whole last quarter of your year's sales tanked. I'm sure they cited across 2024, but that last quarter probably didn't help by any means.
I believe also there are things you can do to
mitigate that.
When you have a good title, it's different if at the end of the day, when you're looking at a board of this is what we have. Why are we not getting it into the hands of XYZ amount of people? It can't just, something can't just not do well. There's reasons why. And if you can pinpoint the why, again, and based on it being a good product, then you can find the solution.
And look, it doesn't matter how well something does if you spend more money than it did. Like something could sell 7 million, but you spent 10 million, you're still out 3 million.
I don't think they put anything on the table that would be that harsh. So.
But you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah, I would think Mannequin's probably their most expensive title.
I could see that because of the multiplayer aspects, the networking with it, the servers,
the graphics.
But it could be that all these sold good too. That's my point. It could be that they made money. They just didn't make as money as expected and they overspent. But I don't know that side of things either.
Correct. It becomes a budget. And again, if you can actually look at the numbers and then see, just like you said, what was the cost of.
It sounds like the amount of money that they thought was going to come in.
And they did have a really big marketing team.
Yeah.
They didn't have a small, slouchy marketing team.
No, it's interesting to see how the next month goes, and best of luck for sure
to
all those affected. Maze Theory, developers of Peaky Blinders
Blinders,
Infinite Inside. We've gotten to meet Russ Harding in person a few times now. We met
Russ is awesome, dude.
Yeah, we met him at PAX East. We saw him again at Gamescom. Awesome dude.
Yeah.
But they've split off, and now Maze Theory, the development studio, they were a subsidiary of Saltwater Games. That was their parent company. They've split off. Now they're their own company.
He's still involved, correct?
Correct. But they don't they're not owned by somebody else anymore. I think we saw something like that as well with Soul Assembly. They're part of another company previously, and then a couple of years ago they split off in their own. That's an interesting corporate thing that I had never even heard about before the gaming world, but they were a studio owned by another company and now they're independent. They've gone off on their own.
Infinite Inside's damn good.
And they've also confirmed that they are working on 4 ongoing projects. The Lost Depths DLC for Infinite Inside, an Ancient Dungeon multiplayer update on PSVR 2, a parkour game Free Runner that's in early access, and an unannounced title set to launch at the end of 2025. So Maze Theory is up to some.
They're doing good.
They're doing a lot of stuff. So
yeah, They're doing really good.
Russ is a great guy. 2 great games, Infinite Inside, Peaky Blinders. I've yet to meet the rest of the team. I'm sure that they're equally as cool as Russ. We definitely got to get him on for a formal episode when one of these projects are ready to go.
Not when screaming through a COVID mask.
Yeah, that was our time at PAX 2023.
Game. Oh, man, that sucked.
Yeah. Live and learn.
Yeah. Okay. So for all you Apple folks, which I'm an Apple folk with the phone, just I don't have a Mac, but Apple has reportedly killed off their Mac connected AR glasses.
No.
Which I chuckled in my head and I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if like Zuckerberg mailed them
an Orion,
a dev version of freaking Orion, and then Apple was like,
and they were like, nope, we're not doing that.
Here's how much we're going to sell it for too, suckers.
And they had originally wanted to do that tethered AR glasses. Instead of going to a Mac, they originally wanted it to go to an iPhone, but the word was that they couldn't get the power that they needed out of it.
Hell no, dude.
And
oh my God.
The talk is that,
well, you could for probably about 30 seconds. You just watch your shit go.
The talk is that in their opinion, the lenses just aren't Apple ready quality yet on like a, like the development of them. Like they're just not good quality what's coming out, but that's a lovely excuse as well in my brain. We'll see though. There's always Apple.
Now, Apple just needs to step up. They need to, you know, if they're really going to take the space serious, I think they need to step up their game and stop acting like their headset's some sort of novelty. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think they're really taking it serious, even with, yeah, I just don't. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not.
We'll see. So they did just add that exclusive room, that demo room in their Miami store, right? Fancy, we talked about that last week.
Oh, it's so nice.
And look, people that I know that have the Vision Pro have liked it. The screens are amazing, but it's a $3,500 headset. Yeah, and it's like, is what you're getting for that.
I don't think it's $3,500 worth of value.
No, by any means. And who knows what the cost of these tethered AR glasses would have been. $5,000, you know?
Well, I don't think Apple makes anything less than $1,000.
No,
I really don't.
Goes against philosophy.
It's like, you got to start minimally at $1,000. I don't care if it's a watch, a phone. I mean, you can buy some. I mean, even their chargers. If you buy like an official charger, it's not like
they're talking about doing AirPods with infrared cameras in them. For what? I don't know.
Look inside my ear.
I don't know.
Tell you when you need to clean your ear.
I don't know, but how much do you think those would cost? $600 AirPods, you know? So that was an interesting one.
Is infrared camera?
Mm-hmm.
Would they like dangle out your ear and
I don't know.
Point forward?
I don't know. I just saw it the other week. I was like, what in the world, man?
Look like the Terminator with the 2 red dots. That's weird, man. All right. I mean, it is what it is. But anyways, if you were watching that and hoping that you were going to get your AR glasses that you can connect to your Mac, you cannot. Sorry.
Maybe in a couple of years. Now, on the other side of things, speaking of glasses, the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, it came out that they sold over 1 million units in 2024.
1 million.
Which they had kept saying that the Ray-Bans was like the overperformer of their catalog. Like it completely broke sales expectations. I'd love to know how much they thought that they were going to sell. Because it's a damn good product. And this comes from a meeting that got leaked to The Verge.
And do the math. I mean, that's like wicked easy math. And that's over 1 million. So that could actually be like 1.8. We don't know.
Yeah, but over 300 million in revenue.
Correct.
Boom.
That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's paid for itself yet. But that's not freaking bad.
The previous generation of the Ray-Bans, which we didn't have, the Ray-Ban Stories, these came out a couple years ago. Over the course of 16 months, they only sold 300K units. So in less than a year, these Ray-Ban smart glasses sold over 1 million. Like that is we talked about this last week. Everyone that we know that's tried them, like they freaking love them.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who I never thought would like them. And I've been hamming it up to some of the people that at my work are much older demographic than me, and just based on the ability of where they vacation and stuff, I'm like, hello, and they're pretty sold on it.
Well, like you would think smart glasses that the target demographic of it, the people that would gravitate to it would be like heavy tech users, right? But in my experience, it's actually people that are casual with tech are the most blown away by it.
Yeah.
It's like heavy tech users goes, where's the screen? You know what I mean? Like they want...
Well, they probably have like a nice $4,000 camera at home.
Yeah, they're expecting AR glasses, whereas like a casual tech user, they're like, oh my God, I can take It's like amazing. So I actually think it is more for the consumers, like the mass consumer base than like heavy tech users. That was a cool one to see though.
Dude, $1 million is, I mean, and that's just now. So what do you think is going to happen when they're adding different makes and models to the equation?
Yeah, Meta's pumping out hardware, man. According to the First Encounters app on Meta, which is an app that you can do when you first boot up the headset for the first time, if the numbers on that are accurate of achievements, they've sold at a minimum of 2 million Quest 3 and 3Ss.
It's not bad. Again, do the math.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't pay for what they invested.
No, but
not even close.
They're putting out...
I don't know if they'll ever make money, to be honest.
They're putting out hardware, man. Like they're moving. People are buying it. 1 million Ray-Bans, 3 million Quest 3s.
And again, that's just now.
Mm-hmm.
We got them Oakleys coming.
I'm excited for that.
So I don't know if they're going to pump out 1 million that quick, but if it was
I think the Ray-Ban design's more casual.
If it was the 80s, they would have.
Yeah, I think that they'll sell significantly less Oakleys just because of the design and the use case. But let's see. I could be completely wrong.
All right. So here's a cool one. Simulator VR.
You had to get it. I had to let. I couldn't touch this one.
Didn't even need to. I don't care what comes before or after the word simulator VR. But farming simulator's coming out to Quest next month. Not the farming simulator game that like I'm accustomed to on flat screen. I think this is a really good start. You're going to have some farm work to do, but they're also going to roll heavy on having to do like maintenance,
VR interaction stuff.
Yeah, different tasks and stuff. They're going to have you do power wash shit, fix stuff. You know, but again, good start. I'm going in when sight unseen, I was much more excited thinking that it was the same farming simulator.
When you heard the
game.
name.
Yeah. But I'm not hating this, and I'm excited. Dude, I'm excited to try it.
And dude, the mowing the fields does look good.
Yeah. Like I said, this is a great start. I just want to see.
Oh, selling the veggies. This looks interesting. And it's official. Like it's from...
Yeah.
It's like the IP of Farming Sim.
Yeah.
It's just a spin-off, like you said, not a one-to-one port.
Yeah.
There's potential here.
But again, if they're going to use this as a, let's put our feet in the water and see
how it does.
See what happens. I think they can go great, but
February 28th it drops as well too.
Yeah, end of the month, shortest month of the year.
I need to see. I can't find their store page. I'll find it after. I want to see it. I doubt it. It's definitely single player, but there's that one part of me that's like, maybe it's multiplayer, but it's not. They would have showed it in the trailer.
Genuine farming sim would be multi, because you can invite people to work on your fields when you're not there too.
It makes sense. Like you need hands on the farm.
But again, for a start,
yeah,
let's see what they're bringing to the table. I mean, I couldn't. It's just gonna suck if it's not really good, because it's not going to give them incentive to continue.
And they had never done their full 1-to-1 port like you want farming sim in VR, like how it is on the desktop.
So I don't want names, because I don't want to put that person in that predicament, but there was someone we had spoken to about farming sim, and they made a phone call and said they couldn't do it because someone was already doing it. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was no joke.
Single user. $24.99 will be the full launch price, but
That's
you can
fair.
pre-order now for $22.49.
No, that's totally fair.
Okay. Let's see. This one, when I saw it was on the list, though, I was like, you got to grab this one. This one's all you.
Yep.
So,
Gonna get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, milk the cows, get my field ready.
Ting.
Ding.
So, a VR minigame, party minigame game that we love, Dumbways Free for All. They just dropped a new.
I can't wait.
I'm trying to pronounce this. Benulian Prime DLC that brings 25 new mini games.
Dude, I'm stoked.
That is so many mini games for a game like this.
I love this game.
We had so much fun with it.
My biggest problem with like Loco Dojo, one of my favorite group games ever, but they don't do shit with it. So they've never built on it. They could have had a whole nother freaking board you could have gone around.
And this is their second free DLC. I didn't mention before, this is a free DLC, and they've already put out one other free DLC, which brings the total amount of mini games in this game up to 100.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of fun when I play that with you.
And well, dude, so we need to get a full party of them in there because it's always like either I take first place or you take first place.
You can be mad greedy in this game.
Oh, dude, it's and the bean aesthetic, it's so good.
Yep.
So free DLCs, it is $19.99 on the Quest store, but again, they've already put out 2 free DLCs, and there's 100 mini games. If you're looking for a party game to play with friends, this one's money.
All right, this will be short and sweet.
Also, can I say one? I forgot to mention this. It's space themed, hence Benulian Prime.
Right,
But
listen, they had me at free
25
DLC,
mini games,
and now we're up to 100 mini games.
Yeah, so the other ones were kind of like on a tropical island or a winter environment. This one is in the stars, in the space. I definitely got to check this out.
All right, so comical doom and gloom. Let's set the atmosphere.
Set the vibes.
Yeah, I'm setting the vibe. It's gloomy, it's dark. I'm a developer. I'm really bummed because guess what? I can no longer support Quest 1 in the app on app updates.
Did we go back a year? I thought that this was already a thing.
Yeah, when we were talking about this, we were like, am I absolutely dumb that I thought...
I didn't even know you could still support the Quest 1. I've seen so many developers drop the Quest 1 support.
Dude, I'm really pushing that Quest 1 hard.
And they're still users of them, but like I just thought that so many games had done a like, this is the final version that's coming to the Quest 1.
Yeah, I thought it was a wrap, but now it's officially a wrap.
Okay.
So developers, cut it out. Stop putting your resources into it.
That's funny.
Yep. Although people are still making old games too, I think. For old
I'd be
systems.
curious to know what the percentage user base of like total quests used, like what percentage of that is Quest 1's still of like monthly active users? 2%, 3%?
Whoever it is.
Definitely in single digits.
Stop it.
But
put that piece of history on a wall because now it deserves that place.
It was an important headset.
And take advantage of the ridiculously cheap prices for a 3 or 3S. Come on, man.
So, this next one, Cold VR, which is heavily inspired by Super Hot VR, but it's in reverse. So, that's probably why they called it Cold, Super Hot. But then it's reverse style, so it's Cold VR. It's a game where time slows down as you move, and it's very similar to Super Hot in that you got to kill the enemies, with ideally when shit's going slow. They now have officially secured a release date for February 11th on MetaQuest and PC VR. However, PSVR 2's release date is still unconfirmed. So, if you like those type of, time lapse games, I don't even know how to describe it. Shit moves when you move. I don't know, and you got to kill shit. Those type of bullet games, this one's definitely going to be a good one to check out. Upload VR did say that they had mixed impressions on their hands-on preview with it.
No.
Saying that there were some frustrations with the difficulty in some levels, but they did praise the satisfyingly good combat. They enjoyed the narrative, and they considered its horror elements to be shockingly good.
Okay.
So depending on how old the build they tried was too,
Yeah, and that's
tweakable stuff. The difficulty.
I'll never come down on them because Upload's great. But the reality is if you give Upload something to try or demo at a show or whatever, and there's an issue, that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like where you and I might be a little more forgiving and be like, oh my God, this is like version 0. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're going to call it like it was seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them credit in that.
Make sure you give Upload VR a good working build.
Yeah.
When you give them a build.
That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, you're not going to
They're going to call it how they see it.
Correct.
And it's not that we wouldn't call things how, but like maybe we'll ask if there's a better working build a week later to check out. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think also finished product, they'll get one.
Yeah. Well, when I look at the frustrations with the difficulty, that's not too hard to tweak, right?
No.
And some levels, that means it's minor stuff,
Yeah,
so
is it not?
there's a lot of hype on this one. I believe it's made by developer Allware, and published by Perp Games. So,
sweet.
exciting stuff.
For all you cool puzzle fans sitting on your PlayStation VR 2s, waiting for something good to drop. Seems to be a lot of struggles with games actually coming over there. House of Da Vinci.
Woo!
Coming out to PSVR 2 very soon. That's good. I mean, I joke about PlayStation a lot, but they deserve to have a very strong store.
And the word on the street is we've seen a couple developers like Toast Interactive had said that the PSVR 2 sold better, I think, in a period there than on MetaQuest.
Mm-hmm.
Since studios come out and said Swordsman VR is outselling on the PSVR 2, I think it's a sentiment we're starting to see that, like, since the PSVR 2 did that sale.
I think also that's kind of skewed because it's not a 1-to-1 release, is it?
No, but I've heard it from a lot of developers that sales of PSVR 2 sales have gone up since they did that 350 sale over the holidays. It was like they actually have users now.
That was a good sale.
Man, if they could keep it at that price, like, I think we would see a lot of PSVR 2s in the wild.
They just need to fix that condom face fucking rubber stuff they got going on.
Yeah, we need to try a different one. It could have just been an accessory on the one.
I felt like an old walrus.
So, House of Da Vinci VR is that one looks good. We didn't play it on the Quest yet, but it is out on the Quest. And I think it's actually a port of a flat screen game. So that's cool. I heard mixed things about the VR version.
It's all right.
But a puzzle game, I'm pretty lenient with. Like, if it's good puzzles, I don't need, like, the most in-depth avatars and shit. It's about how are the puzzles, you know?
It's possible some of the issues with the Quest complaints won't carry over to the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to check this one out.
Yes, sir.
So we'll carry through because we got a lot on the agenda still, and we have an exciting interview that's approaching quickly. So I'm excited for this one. But as always, we do have to give a shout out for our Patreon members on our on-air shout out tier. Huge shout out to our Patreon members, Asim, Amelia, Carson, Earth Witness, Aspire Mike, Jake, Crispy, and Shoes for your continued Patreon support. As always, you can join that list by visiting the link in our show notes, which is also where you can find the link for our showcase application and for the always famous, always hyped Ruff Talk VR gaming Discord, full of awesome Ruff Talk VR listeners, VR players, a lot of VR discussion, food discussion, pet pictures, life discussion, off-topic discussion, book discussion, you name it. All the works going on in the Ruff Talk VR Discord. So check out our Patreon, check out our Discord, and back to the news because we got a whole bunch of loaded stuff to get through before our upcoming interview, including this next one, which is actually maybe one of the biggest pieces of news in the last week. About a year ago, Resolution Games came out and said that they were working on a collaboration on Dungeons and Dragons. And this past week, we got some more information on it, including the official name of it, which is it's in writing, Demeo X Dungeons and Dragons Battlemarked. I almost think it would be better called Dungeons and Dragons Demeo, but
sorry,
who am I?
D&D.
This is going to be Resolution Games official Dungeons and Dragons VR game. And it's not going to have a dungeon master, which in fairness, most of the Dungeons and Dragons games that exist have no dungeon master. It's a hard system to replicate in gaming mechanics. But it looks like it's going to be Dungeons and Dragons skinned Demeo is kind of how it looks to me. The trailer they used didn't really contain any footage. It was more of a cinematic trailer, but we should be seeing more news of it coming soon. I mean, now we got a name. We're getting cinematic trailers. I don't think we got any release date or anything, but it's coming. It's in the works.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons
meets
Demeo.
No, I'm fucking beyond.
Yeah.
Beyond. Been waiting for this. Waiting. I think they did say there is no dungeon master.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they got that out of the way right away.
It's using Demeo's gameplay systems as a base, and then you can play with your friends via cross-platform co-op multiplayer. And then, according to Tommy Palm, the founder and CEO of Resolution Games, he said Battlemarked is adapting the classes, action, and lore of Dungeons and Dragons to the system for all new adventures and a whole new experience built from the ground up with D&D in mind. So D&D and the Demeo engine. Why wouldn't you use the Demeo engine when it's already so good, you know? So I get it.
Frick yeah, man. So, this is awesome. I don't really know if this is awesome. I don't know what to really think. Coming spring of 2025 to Quest and PSVR 2. Looks like they're going for the multi-launch Cave Crave. So hear me out. If you are claustrophobic, you cannot play this game.
It's a claustrophobic climber, they call it.
Yeah, it's not a horror game. No jump scares. You'll have, climbing assist locations of where you can put your hands, but you'll also have stamina and shit. So you could fall. So I think they're using like that climb mentality.
I gotta check. I gotta see what this does to my palms.
Ice. Well, just think of being stuck in a tight freaking. If you can't handle the mental image of being stuck upside down like that guy who died in that cave, who went down the cave, but his legs were sticking out and he couldn't get out, and they can't get him out because you just can't bend a person that way. And then they sealed off the cave so nobody else goes in there. And that was underwater. Fuck that shit, man. I'm just saying. But I think they're really going to play on the claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah. I got to see what this one does to my hands. I don't like claustrophobic stuff.
They're calling it like the most realistic spelunking game in VR. I wouldn't even call it a game. It's not.
It's a fear simulator.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Fear simulator.
I'm excited to check that one out, though. Was there any info on release date on it?
Spring of 2025
on Quest and PSVR 2?
Correct.
Oh man.
Yep. So
okay,
that one's got. I'm gonna try it. I don't like the idea of being stuck in something I can't get out of.
Oh man, it's made by the developers of Thief Simulator.
So,
dude, they're good developers. This is gonna be intense.
No toilet to smash.
That's what you think. I hope that there's an Easter egg, that there's a toilet somewhere in one of the caves and you can smash it.
There's the
Uncle Vinny waiting there.
Vinny guy there. Yeah, you fucking kneecap you.
So this is a quick one, but a cool one with some little asterisks on it. Meta Reality Labs, which is the segment of Meta that encompasses AR, VR, AI, pretty much all their futuristic tech, research and development, manufacturing costs, everything. But Meta Reality Labs had their highest ever quarterly revenue with 1.08 billion. Now, yes, they might still be spending 10 billion and out 9 billion in that, but the revenue in it is growing. And again, it's important to say that most of those costs are research and development across all those different technologies. Like I said, AR, VR, and AI. That's a lot of investment money, but they're starting to bring in revenue, and this matches with the rumors of how well the Quest 3S has done on Amazon and stuff. So this was cool to see.
A game that both you and I really, really like, at least on flat screen.
We haven't been able to successfully.
No, this is one of these I wish I had a PSVR too, because I would much rather play it. Yes, I'd much rather play it on this than PCVR. But Worlds Update Part 2 for No Man's Sky, which is going to very heavy focus on the oceans this time.
Oh, great.
No, I mean, it just
I know. I'm just saying more drowning and claustrophobic.
There's going to be more flora. There's going to be more planetary life, but the oceans, you'll be able to explore some depths now. I like No Man's Sky, man.
Yeah,
I just
I wish we could get it. We've had some trouble getting it.
I'll definitely give it a whirl on the flat screen, and I'll envision what it would have looked like on.
If we can get it to work PCVR, it's like we could play that together.
You got to tweak the shit out of it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you really do.
I'll give them props that everything that comes flat screen also comes VR. Like their game updates, and it's updated across both flat and VR. I feel like that they don't get enough props for that, for being such a big studio, and they're paying attention to VR. That's cool shit.
Yeah, no, dude. No Man's Sky is great.
And it's come so far. We've talked about it before, but
since the death threats, yes,
still getting free updates.
The death threat years.
Yeah, they went silent for like a year. But look at the game now in 2025. It's insane.
It's doing well.
So this is a cool one. So Daisy Ridley, who actually starred as Rey in the newest Star Wars trilogy, She's going to be partaking as an actress in a VR experience called Trailblazer, which is going to be coming out this year on actually just a couple months away, March 7th, 2025 on the Quest 2 and Quest 3. And it's going to be directed by Eloise Singer, who that's the same director that did the Pirate Queen VR. So this time it sounds like that they're going less of a game, more of a interactive experience. But that's going to be exciting. You got a big actress getting involved in this. So big VR narrative experience. Well, I'll say big name VR narrative experience coming in just a couple months.
Dude, that's freaking awesome.
Set in Germany in 1988. It invites you into the shoes of Bertha Benz.
But just because you have a big name actress,
we got to see the application of it.
Yeah, doesn't equate to Pirate Queen.
You get to experience the beginnings of the transportation age alongside the woman who ushered in the era. And in this 20-minute interactive experience, it has you assemble the famed motor wagon, explore the Benz workshop, and drive alongside Miss Benz's historic 120-kilometer route through the German countryside.
Lovely.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's educational and it's good.
Mm-hmm. I love VR narrative experiences, so let's see.
Oh, dude, that one that movie I just watched, not movie, but it was a short. It was like 30, 40 minutes. Was it? Oh, something world. I have it in my thing. It was freaking fantastic.
In VR?
Yeah. It was just such a good story.
Oh, I got to check it out. I definitely didn't watch it.
Yeah, I'll pull it when you read your next one, I'll pull it up. Because it really was good. And I don't know why I've never really shouted it out. All right. Silent North gave us a little sneak peek at I feel funny saying this because we've
played it.
Selfishly tried it a few times. Got to try it in Germany. And then when we visited the Combat Waffle Studio, we got to try that current build. So I'm not shocked at the current looting system, but they're giving the world a peek at it. The game right now still slated for early access release in 25 on Steam and Quest. So we'll be keeping our eyes open on that.
Dude, I'm excited for this one.
Dude, that map is so big. I don't know what they've said or not said in reference to like how long it will take you to walk from A to B. And they really should hype the shit out of that because it's alarming, you know?
Oh, dude, I think that's actually new. If you look at the video they posted, there's a little segment with an avatar system to change this avatar's outfit. You see that?
Well, you have to pick up clothes.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude.
You have to survive, man.
And shit's cold. It's Silent North, you know? I'm excited for this one.
Swiss Alps.
Mm-hmm. I'm so excited for Silent North.
Dude, that's a monster.
So
it's a monster freaking game.
You can hear us trying to go through these a little faster as well, too, as the time dwindles down, but we're doing our best. So this was actually one that we tried right when we first got into VR. The first VR MMO RPG called Orbis VR, which still had a thriving community when we first got into VR. It is unfortunately shutting down across all platforms. So rest in peace. It served its place in the VR MMO history. And honestly, even to this day, the last time I had hopped on, it had more of a community than a lot of the other VR MMOs, even today, like the new ones. So it's definitely unfortunate to see this because it's a historical part of VR. You know, it's like rest in peace. But Orbis is now shutting down. Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, their Kickstarter for this game was it back in 2017, and it came out in 2018. Like, so rest in peace to Orbis VR.
I'm not laughing because of that. My apologies. So Odo's Planet is the little movie short.
Okay,
it's really. I mean, it's not.
I gotta watch it.
It's phenomenal. Check it out. You interact more than you did in some other ones that we've seen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really a good story. Highly recommend it. Hide the Corpse is coming in 2025. A game that's actually really freaking fun to play. Coming to PSVR 2 and Steam. in 2025. They were also in our
gaming. They're alumni
showcase
last year.
So, and dude,
make note.
That trailer, man,
was honestly one of my favorite of the showcase.
Yeah, that dude. It's a good game. It is. The game is exactly what it is. You have to hide the corpse, and you have different rooms and scenarios in which you have to hide the corpse. Not as easy as it sounds, because you got that like kind of, I don't know how to describe. How do you describe the arms in that? Like rubber stick arms. It compensates for weight, so you just can't grab it like you can in NPC and then just smash all around. But yeah, no, that's more good news for PSVR 2. PC VR, they've got a pretty stacked library of games already, so I don't feel as
I think we're going to see
happy
through
for them.
2025 more and more games come to PlayStation VR 2 as word gets out that like, oh shit, we're selling copies here.
Yeah,
developers are going to be, it's worth the time.
The better PlayStation does, the better
the industry
Oculus will do.
Yeah,
so it's a win for me and my selfish needs.
Absolutely. So this one's a bit exciting. Last week we had talked a bit about Samsung's Android XR headset, and now Samsung and Google have given YouTuber Marcus Brownlee an exclusive hands-on with it, including permission to capture with it and record with it, both of the hardware and the software side of it. So if you check out Marcus's video, you can get a really in-depth hands-on of it, and you'll see it's a real headset. Like Upload VR put it, it's not just a render. This is it in reality. You can see it with the puck. And
although we don't know, what is he really looking at?
Yeah, I'll trust him that he's actually looking at something. It is a sleek looking headset. It looks like it went more the Apple Vision Pro style of it. Now, Upload VR's Ian Hamilton also did go hands-on with it previously, and both him and Marcus had the same takeaway, which was that the AI in it with Google's Gemini AI is it's phenomenal. So that's an interesting part.
Which means
I don't know how much I would use AI.
Like just on talk to it. What's up, little buddy?
Hey, what's the weather today?
Yeah. The weather is cloudy.
It's cool to see people start to be able to go hands-on with it, and maybe that means it's closer.
Maybe it is real.
It's close. I mean, dude, if people are going hands-on with it,
any footage
with functional hardware and software that they're letting them record with,
see a dude wearing it. What's he doing in it?
I know. I wish we could.
Nobody's showing the inside of that, dude.
The lenses and
not
stuff.
Not one photo.
I'm excited though. It's another player has entered the market, so that's cool stuff.
I don't know. If they say believe like nothing that you hear and only half of what you see, then I think that's fair. Good consumer savings. I'm actually shocked these aren't just Quest Plus, the whole catalog.
Oh, right.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Vacation Sim and Cosmonious High, 2 fan favorites, $19.99. That's it. Knocked it down. Kind of thought it already was.
That's a fair price for those games and modern times.
Especially Cosmonious High. There's so much freaking to do in there. But no, good for Alchemy Labs for doing that.
We got to set up a dimensional double shift round soon.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That game stresses me out.
That game's fun.
And then I find myself doing, because I'm like, I can't figure it out in time. So I just start farting around doing other dumb shit. But that game's great, though.
It is. If we should try to hop in there. It would be good for journalistic reasons. We should try to grab Henry Stockdale
and Nick. Yeah.
Try to do a little 4-person session with them. So this is a cool one because love the developers. VRAL Games. They're the publisher of V-Rider and now Swingle as well too. They announced that they acquired a 30% stake in Polarity One, which is a development studio currently working on a sci-fi shooter Exoshock that actually appeared at the end of the first ever Ruff Talk VR gaming showcase. That was the game that played for, I think we had like 7 or 8 minutes of exclusive gameplay at the end, and people loved it. Like, it got a really good reception. So that's cool. They said that the game's going to come out later this year, and the official website states early access is quote unquote coming soon.
Damn.
So 30% stake in that. VRAL Games is trying to make their place as a prominent publisher.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
No, that's damn good.
And they're sharing numbers. We bought 30% of them. You know what I mean? Like they're not effing around.
No, that's really good. So it's already out. I'll say it's old news, but it's still within a couple of days, so we're forgiving. But just came out the end of the month. Beyond Blue, After the Storm, which is the follow-up to Beyond Blue. Underwater future narrative adventure game. I did not play Beyond Blue, but I am 100% looking to play Beyond Blue After the Storm.
Mm-hmm. It is out now as well, too. Came out on the 30th. Some people in our Discord said it's a bit short. That was the
consensus I pretty much figured out.
A couple hours was the talk of it, but it's got a 4.2.
Yeah, I didn't hear it being crapped on.
No.
And it's, it's not the most expensive experience.
No, $14.99. You could have pre-ordered it for $9.99 as well, too. But, I mean, as long as you go in knowing it's short, it sounds like it's a polished experience that people liked. Just like all short experiences, sometimes you wish there was more, but that doesn't mean what's in there is bad by any means. And you look at like the cost of a film ticket. Film tickets, $20.
That's for one person.
Yeah. Then you can get multiple plays out of it. So, Vendetta Forever from End Dreams. Technically, it's developed by Meat Space Interactive. Love the developer name. And it's published by End Dreams. Vendetta Forever was like the sleeper title of End Dreams. Not sleeper in that it's not known now. Sleeper in just like not seeing it coming and just like kind of took the VR player base by storm. People loved Vendetta Forever, especially when they came out with that initial demo. And now they're putting out an update that includes a super hot inspired gameplay modifier. So, and as well, B-haptic support, baby, which any game involving bullets going around should have B-haptics, B-haptics, the attack suit is so freaking nice. So, good stuff. New gameplay mode for Vendetta Forever.
I got some cool meta tech plans for us Quest lovers and users. Probably an area that I honestly don't pay the most attention to when I'm doing my setup of my area. I have my area through my walls just to tell it I have a bigger play space than I have. I have done the full scan of my room like everyone else, but I
draw the couches and stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've done it. I'm just not like a hardcore, like, oh, dude, I got every nook and cranny. But Meta's actually going to make this whole process a lot easier. You still have to do your initial scan, detect all your shit. But all future changes you make to your living space, like, hey, let's move the couch around. It's going to automatically know this, whereas it did not previously, and you'd have to rescan your environment. Amazingly, Pico and Apple Vision Pro do continuous scanning. But
Pico's got some interesting software
they
things.
got some neat features.
But they just never got the time of day in the North America and market. I don't
see why not. We got TikTok. I was waiting for that, dude.
I got to say, too, this came from one of my favorite...
Bundle them headsets with TikTok apps.
This came from one of my favorite leakers, Luna on Twitter, or X, I should say. User Luna. Luna always puts out the best leaks. A lot of it comes from looking at like the update code and stuff like that, really going sleuth style in it. And I get the impression sometimes people send Luna stuff as well too, but just to give the shout out on where it came from, this was spotted in a change log for version 72. So cool stuff, man.
No, definitely. Sorry.
Small quality of life change, but like big
implications.
I'm just moving on. So anyway,
implementation.
One of those days. Flat screen game Crisis now has a full VR mod through the Flat to VR community. It is made by modder. I apologize for any pronunciations on name. Holger Friedrich. So he also goes online by F. Holger. He's also the lead developer of the Half-Life 2 VR mod. He has brought the classic and ever-loved Crisis game into VR through modding. So if you're one of those modding enthusiasts, you love to get in there and use the Unreal Engine injector and all these games that shouldn't be in VR, but through the magic workings of people like Holger, they're able to get them in VR, then you're in you're in for some fun with Crisis.
Yeah, the modding community is pretty legit, but they always have been.
Mm-hmm. I've always been amazed the amount of work people do for like enthusiasm.
Dude, way back in the day too, like full-time job amount of work.
Sometimes like
Doesn't
the
matter
modders
the game.
do better stuff than like the original developer.
1,000,000%.
You know, like they fix bugs. They like
Sometimes developers get really pissed.
I've even seen modders get hired by development studios.
Yeah, for putting good maps and shit out. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Game we love, Medieval Dynasty, New Settlement.
Woo!
Update 1.9 added public server lists. All right, that's fair. But this one, really cool, dude. I don't know why I like this so much. Gravestones after a player dies when you're playing co-op.
That's freaking awesome.
You can pay your respect.
We need to go back in because we haven't gone in since it first came up. And like it was 100% here's the mode. We're gonna add more to it.
Yeah, I'm dying.
Curious what else has come into it.
I'm dying to go back in.
Yeah,
no, the worst part is one of us is gonna make sure that we die. So
now we got to see the gravestone.
Yeah. I just want to see the tombstone.
That's
but
cool
keep
stuff.
up the good work, Medieval Dynasty peeps. You're killing it.
And Green Hell VR's co-op is great too. So now we have Medieval Dynasty VR co-op. We have Green Hell VR co-op, and we have Grim. Like
Grim's on its own.
Our survival gaming in VR though, it's like we have options now if we want to play.
Yeah, for
like,
whatever your level is that you want to take.
Do you want to do medieval vibes? You have Medieval Dynasty. If you want to be just me and you with no other real players in the jungle, we have Green Hell. Or we can go fuck with other real people on Mars with Grim, you know? So we got our choices for sure.
More's going to kill you on Mars.
More of other things are going to kill you on Mars as well, too. And my last piece of news actually is a 2-part one regarding Batman Arkham Shadow. One half of it is an update that just came out, and the other half is an update that's going to come out. So Batman Arkham Shadow got a new game plus mode, which lets you play the game again after you've beaten it, with, carrying over some of your progression and upgrades and such, your Wayne Tech progression into your next saves. And then they also added a post-credits cinematic. So I'm curious what that is. That sounds like some lore building stuff as well. So that just dropped in version 1.3. And now they're also saying that the game will receive a Game of the Year update in February. According to Camouflage, the update will bring 3 classic Arkham-inspired Predator map challenges. Challenge maps, an extreme difficulty option, and a new I Am the Night mode.
Yeesh.
I don't know what that means, but it's night like KN, like the Dark Knight. So I Am the Night mode. I don't know what that means, but that sounds freaking cool. So huge props to Camouflage for
doing anything with it after.
There's been so many updates already. Yeah. Now they have new Game Plus mode. They have new challenge maps. This dark. I am the night mode. I'm real curious about that. But huge props to Camouflage for absolutely crushing it with Batman.
Yeah, no, there was no joke. They did everything right.
Mm-hmm. And
from
more.
The graphics to the sound to quality of gameplay to marketing. They did really well. So that's it for my stories.
Now we're just going to go over it real quick.
Yep. Some upcoming games for February.
Woo! We could have even done March too, but there was enough.
Well, keep in mind, February is the shortest month of the year. There's 28 days. So the fact that we've got
14 games,
14 friggin' games coming out in 28 days, that's a game every other day.
And
if you really look at it. So.
Despite us earlier in the episode saying that you should promote your game 6 months before, we know in February there's going to be a couple games that aren't on this list that out of nowhere with no prior announcement come out.
Unless you're out of your mind. All right, so February 6th, Quest, Rogue Pinatas, VR Mageddon.
I think that one's a Pinata roguelite, like
yes, it is.
Co-op style too. So yes, I cannot wait to play that.
Family friendly. Cold VR, February 11th. PC VR and Quest. Alien, Rogue Incursion, February 13th. Quest 3. People been waiting for that a long time. Chrono Strike, February 13th. Quest. Already have a problem going on with February 13th releases. Boom. Someone's not walking away the winner.
Mm-hmm.
Ashen Arrows, February 20th. PC VR, Pico and Quest. Pico. I really want a Pico. Realize Music, Sing, February 20th, Quest. We're seeing a lot of singing games.
I noticed that too.
All on board, February 27th, closing out just a day before the end of the month. PC VR and Quest.
I'm so excited for All on Board,
dude,
as well. And I mean, some of these aren't going to have locked in dates in February. So we have Crystal Commanders coming February 27th on the Meta Quest.
Same day as All on Board.
The 27th is a stacked one. Detective VR comes out February 27th on the Meta Quest. Horror Simulator comes out February 27th on the Quest. And that's horror, not Horror Simulator.
Horror.
That comes out February 27th on the Meta Quest. Farming Simulator is going to come out February 28th on the Meta Quest, the last day of the month. Boxing Underdog, which was supposed to come out, I won't even say December, and then never came. Then never January, never came out. Theoretically comes out February. I'm very excited for this one. Just don't love the name.
What about Boxing U? Just Boxing U. The letter U. Instead of underdogs, but just almost like Boxing University. You could interpret it how you want.
Yeah, Boxing Underdogs just don't work, though, dog.
Got to go.
Then we also got Parakoto coming sometime on... it's coming sometime in February on PC VR only. And then we have The Obsessive Shadow coming sometime in February 2025 to PSVR 2.
Good luck.
That's a scary one.
The back half of this month is stacked.
And I might not have mentioned this, but Horror Simulator, Farming Simulator, and Boxing Underdog are all only Quest launches for this list.
Not upset.
Holy shit, that was a stacked news episode. We had to force ourselves to get through it. I think we could have done like 2.5 hours if we'd like just didn't restrain ourselves.
We've got a hard stop.
Yeah. We gotta wrap this up because we got a fun interview coming up later this week.
You want to spoil it?
I guess because if it doesn't happen, I can just edit this part out.
Yeah.
Right. So
we rarely do this.
So we're gonna have
this is
later this week.
This is good.
Episode 2, the return of Spoon, the developer, the creator, Spoon-Fed, the creator of Grimm.
Getting him out of the Matrix for a little bit.
Yeah, the game came out. We wanted to give it a couple weeks before we tried to get him on.
Well, he's melting servers,
dude.
What are you gonna do?
So we got was happening. We got to let the game do its little release cycle. Then we figured it would be good to have him back on. So here we go. I'm excited for it. And just to wrap it up, I will say too, because we didn't do a weekly check-in on it, Grimm is at 4.1 on the MetaQuest right now with 273 total reviews. Holy shit, that's a lot of reviews.
It's not bad.
Huge props to Spoon-Fed. Thank you all for tuning in. Like you said, we got a hard stop, so we'll wrap this baby up. If you enjoy the show, be sure to subscribe, rate us 5 stars, subscribe on YouTube, your favorite audio podcast platform. Check out if you're a developer studio, check out the Ruff Talk VR Gaming Showcase. We got our Patreon, we got our Discord, all that stuff. And we will check you out later this week. Ciao, ciao.